Hello anybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Pikmin. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in the last episode, we got a few more parts out of the Force Naval, and with enough parts to increase our ship's capabilities, and in today's episodes, we're gonna go to the new area that we just unlocked, the Distant Spring. And boy, is it gonna be exciting. The Distant Spring is a very water-heavy area, which means we're gonna be needing a lot of blue Pikmin, and it's gonna be very dangerous. This is easily the hardest area in the game, especially compared to the previous three. Like, Force Naval was a little bit challenging, but this one is just actively really painful and terrifying. And I'm gonna start off today's episode with something a little special. If you get to the Distant Spring, if you unlock it before day, I believe, 15, you can fight an optional monster that I'm gonna go and show off right now as soon as I get all my water Pikmin. And I need to wait for all my water Pikmin, or my blue Pikmin, because that is the only way in which I can, get and fight this thing. I wish they were all, I should probably flower them, but I'm feeling chancy. But yeah, actually this isn't the only way you can fight this thing. It might be better to start it by luring it over with one blue Pikmin and then fighting it with red Pikmin. But what you want to do is throw one blue Pikmin on it, and once it does some damage, you want to get away from the egg, this big egg. Actually, is this gonna... Oh god, it's gonna hatch. And this is the Smoky Progg. This is an optional boss, I guess you could call it. This is possibly the hardest enemy in the game, and we do not have time to be fighting yellow Wollywogs. Now, even though we unlocked it, even though we attacked it, it's not coming for us directly. I mean, it kind of is, but where it's going is actually to our base. It is heading over to the landing site, because this is what the Smoky Progg does when it gets out of its egg. It will come immediately over to the landing site, and it will just kind of hang around here and make it impossible for you to do anything. And if a Pikmin falls in that smoke behind it, it will immediately die. So all you can do is kind of very carefully throw Pikmin onto its head. You cannot swarm them, otherwise there is nothing you can do. When it does that little roar, any Pikmin that are buried in the ground will immediately be uprooted. Not necessarily a bad thing, but that's kind of what it does if it's hanging out at your base. So Pikmin in the ground are not necessarily safe. This is not a good start. Because if the Pikmin are engaged with it and they think they're fighting it, then they're gonna go right at it and they're gonna have a bad time. And how do I have 79 Pikmin, but, oh, I don't understand my numbers exactly, because it says I have 73 out of 75, but they're not that few on the field. I do not understand this. And as you can see, this is a bit of a bloodbath already, but we're gonna kill this thing, because this is a great prize for killing it, and this will pay off despite all the deaths we are getting. I swear. Just call them back whenever they get shaken off so they don't get consumed by the sludge that it is spreading, which will kill your Pikmin immediately. I think I was throwing Pikmin right into the goop. That is a little bit embarrassing, but get them out of there. We've got it down to half health, so we've almost got it. It might seem like I'm wasting a lot of time fighting this thing, and that might actually be the case, but it probably would be wise for me to take out some red Pikmin with which to fight this thing, but I am stubborn. Also, it's hanging out, like, right next to the red Pikmin thing, so the red onion, so I don't want to drop them right into the sludge where they will get murdered and die. This enemy does have a lot of health, but as you can see, it's not too difficult. You are going to face a lot of losses, though. I don't know a good way to fight this thing. This thing will probably be, like, the second biggest thing responsible for deaths in this run-through, but if I can kill it, the payoff will be pretty great. And nope, there are frogs after me too. This is not good. And I just lost a lot of Pikmin there. And it's still chasing me. No! No! I hate frogs. I hate Wollywogs. It's like, I want to just fight this guy, and the Wollywog is like, no, fight me too. Aw, dang. We've almost got it though, and then at which point it will pop. It'll melt in this terrifying sequence. And our prize for that will be a golden pearl. Now, I'm going to look at the map because I'm not sure what is up with my numbers right now. But what I'm going to do, actually, before I get that golden pearl, I'm going to take out a bunch of reds so the Pikmin that I get won't encroach on... The Pikmin I get won't all be like... I won't have to pick them all, basically. which is just a good method to kind of stick to. So I'm going to divide up my Pikmin, take my blues, and because they are the ones who suffered like a loss of, what, 65? I'm going to send them over here, and look at the bottom right number to see how many we get for that. We get... Oh, he's gonna tell us that because it just about exceed 100 Pikmin in the field because they can't stop giving you this tutorial. From the number that we got 414 Pikmin. You get a lot of Pikmin for your trouble there. Now, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do on this day. So it's good. The nice thing about the map is it kind of gives you a little bit of time to kind of plan and prepare what your battle strategy for today, or for the day, will be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my reds back in, and I'm going to worry about the water sections for today, like off to the east, off into this distant spring area that you see. No, I don't want any yellow Pikmin, they'll drown. So the red Pikmin go back up into their hole where they, you know, they were helpful in making sure that we didn't have to pick like 75 Pikmin. So that is a very good tip. Pro tips from Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, if you will. So we've got our entire team out. It also helps to look for grass. I think there's a lot of grass in this opening area, but it's kind of hard to see it, given the coloration of the grass kind of mixes with the coloration of the earth. So we're gonna try and get a bunch of nectar for our blue Pikmin, because leaves are just awful to deal with. Like, even in that fight, a lot of the yellow Pikmin, or the grass Pikmin, just had a really hard time keeping up. Now this is a ball bear. This big guy is a ball bear. They have a considerable amount of more health than the red bulborbs, but they're still pretty easy to take care of if you bum rush them. They're a lot more dangerous in future Pikmin games where they start off awake, and this is a withering blowhog, or some kind of blowhog, and I hate it because it will blow your Pikmin, and by doing so, it will cause them to be deflowered. I hate them so much, but they're not too hard if you can get the numbers, if you can get your Pikmin on them sufficiently, because once it gets grounded, it's much easier to deal with. And with that, you get a bunch of stuff dropped from the sky, and that will take care of that enemy, that fool. Also, we'll send these things back, so that these are back at the base where they belong, and kind of restock our blue numbers and get them up to snuff, kind of get them up on par with, say, the red Pikmin, kind of, because as much as useful as the red Pikmin are, you want your red Pikmin to be the dominant numbers, you definitely want a healthy supply of blues, because without blues, you can't do anything in the water areas, as it just turns out. That's just the way things go. So they're gonna do that, and I just want all my Pikmin with me so that I can get the most benefit out of these nectar drops that I got from the rocks. So yeah. Now that bug over there is a not a bumbling snitch bug, but a swooping snitch bug. And what they'll do is they will fly at your Pikmin and try to steal them and pluck them back in the ground. Actually, I might let him do that. He's kind of... Yep, he's got a couple of them, and if he throws them, he'll just throw them down into the ground and then you'll have to pluck them again. He's not really all that dangerous. I mean, he can't kill your Pikmin. The only real danger is if he shows up in the middle of you fighting another enemy. So, otherwise he's not a big deal. I mean, who cares? But yeah, he's only like, a lot of monsters in Pikmin, I would say, are only really threatening if they get in your way while you're doing other fights. And I think that's a fair assessment. Now, yellow Wollywogs, I can't remember how they're different from the other Wollywogs, and that is a bad time for you guys to be obsessed over nectar, because we have a frog, a Wollywog, if you will, that we need to take care of. And that was very chancy of me to do, but I think it was worth it, because Wollywogs are the worst. And I just kind of want to kill them. I want to kill them all. Getting back to business, this item out here is the one we really want to get. Oh, how did one of my Pikmin die? Oh, I think that was a glitch. There's actually a glitch in Pikmin 1 where if a dying enemy's corpse falls on your Pikmin, it won't show the Pikmin dying with its little ghost, but it will despawn the Pikmin and count it as a death, I think. So that's kind of annoying. I mean, it makes sense. It's not really a glitch per se. That could have been an intentional design choice, but it's still kind of annoying. And this guy, we're gonna want to have him land and swarm him. I guess Wollywogs aren't as bad if you really just swarm the hell out of them. Actually, I'm gonna leave the bodies here and just kind of focus on taking care of them. See, I lost another couple Pikmin to that. That's annoying and frustrating, and it makes me angry. I am very upset. You can tell by the tone in my voice. Whoa, that was a little too close. Even so, if you accidentally rush these Pikmin under them when they're about to go squish, you can lose, like, half your entire squad in just a second. Oh god, that's bad. That is really bad. See, I lost a lot of Pikmin. See, that really hurt my numbers. So, I'm gonna have to get back some Pikmin from inside the onion. That was a little embarrassing, just a little bit. It's okay though, because these spoils will account for the Pikmin that I lost, and I'm just gonna take out the Pikmin that I need. Today has been a bloodbath. I'm pretty sure I've lost more Pikmin today than I'm going to lose throughout the entire LP otherwise, on other days. But you gotta make sacrifices sometimes in the interests of saving time and, you know, getting things done. So sometimes you just have to lament your losses, and this kind of makes Olimar into an even bigger monster with the sacrifices he is willing to make of these Pikmin. I still don't understand why the Pikmin follow him, considering what happens to him. I still think it has to do with the light on his head, or something. Oh well. And Pikmin are falling down and collapsing and all that, but now that we've taken care of that group of enemies, we've almost gotten close enough to kind of get a new part. We've still got to get past these guys though over here. These are water dumplings. Water dumplings or waddle dumplings? Water dumplings. Wow, that was a little that shouldn't have been so difficult to say. These are dangerous enemies in that they can eat your Pikmin very quickly if you fight them head on. So, you know, don't fight them head on. Like the other enemies, you kind of want to be careful in how you approach them. But the problem is, they eat really fast. But you can save a Pikmin if it's being mid-eaten if you kill them fast enough. So if I can lure this one, nope. Oh, that was bad. You know what, I just don't even. You know, we should just be able to take care of this before they're really, really hurt. Okay, so I guess water dumplings aren't as bad as I remembered them to be. Now, I swear to God, we're gonna get a part before this day is out, and the part is actually inside of this blowhog. We're gonna kill it, because I hate it. And this has just been a disaster bloodbath of a day. This has been just great. So these enemies, if you can keep kind of ahead on them, you can take care of them pretty easily. My main advice for dealing with them is you kind of have to make sure they don't lead you into other enemies. Like, that's the hardest part of dealing with them, is they'll often back up into other enemies that make them impossible to fight unless you take out the other enemies first. But for our efforts, we get a thing, a part.
I found my interstellar radio. Not only does it emit a constant SOS signal, it also broadcasts voices from space that will brighten up my moments of boredom. The dolphin, while comfortable, becomes quite a lonely place in the depths of the night.
Aw, poor Olimar. So we're immediately gonna scoop that up. And all these bodies, because the blue Pikmin have had quite a day. Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3 also have very water-heavy areas, and I'm not sure how exactly I feel about it, because you want as many water Pikmin as you can, so it kind of limits your squadron severely in what you can have. I mean, theoretically, you could set red or yellow Pikmin to business elsewhere in the level, while you do stuff with the blue Pikmin, but again, that leaves you trusting the blue Pikmin on their own. And that's just kind of I don't like that sound. Something is killing the Pikmin. Oh no, water dumplings. I should have taken care of these guys, but I didn't. But it doesn't take a lot of Pikmin to kill them. They're weaker than I remembered, and they will continue to attack me and my Pikmin, and I hate them. But we can kill at least one, and as for that one, he's just gonna, you live today, for today, you bastard. I swore. But that's sad. It's a good thing we took care of the enemies over here, though, like in this path. Otherwise, we would have had an even bigger disaster. I don't know why the Pikmin took that path. That was such an inefficient path for them to take. I don't like it. I don't like it, what they did. But again, we're gonna draw out as many Pikmin as we can out of the onion that we can draw out so that we don't have to pick so many when the time comes. Where are the other Pikmin? They are really taking their time. I'm a little bit worried, a little bit concerned. This guy and these guys are gonna have to, I'm just gonna have to pick them up so they don't get lost overnight. Thankfully, we did manage to get at least one part before the day was out. Mostly I wanted to show off the Smoky Progg while I had the chance.
Interstellar radio. This part will send out a daily SOS signal. I have so little time remaining, though, that I have no option but to continue my search rather than waiting for a rescue party. Having to collect every part is a bit overwhelming, but I get the impression not all parts are needed to fly the ship. And that's 13 of 30 parts, but even though Olimar said that, again, it's not necessarily logical what parts you need in order to fly your ship. Like, you need the interstellar radio in order to save the day. I'm gonna pick this Pikmin before the day's up. There we go. That was nice. And that was a very busy day. I like busy days in Pikmin. Mostly combat, mostly taking care of the water, the biggest water portion of the distant spring. Even though I said that this is like the water area and it's very water heavy, it's pretty balanced otherwise, aside from that big area out there. So I wouldn't say it's too demanding on the water side of things. And bugs prop out of the ground, the sheer grubs. They would murder the Pikmin that get left behind, as do any Pikmin. 7 days since impact. There appears to be a large cluster of parts here. If my calculations are correct, then I should be able to recover virtually all of my missing ship parts. But not quite all of them. Unfortunately, there still seems to be some pieces that remain unaccounted for. I must find 16 more parts to further increase the Dolphin's range.
16 more parts. That is to say, we need to get 29 parts in order to increase the capabilities. What happens then? Well, if you played the game, you already know. And if you don't, well, you can probably maybe guess. But I'm not going to say anything about that. The blue line is absolutely insane for today. It was kind of crazy. We lost a lot of blue Pikmin, and we certainly lost 106 in total. Jeez, we lost so many. Well, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. In which case, Pikmin are doomed to die because of me. I'm sorry, Pikmin. The good news is, now that the Smoky Progg is shown off and dead, we won't ever have, hopefully, a monster as murderous as that one was. So, in today's episode, you saw what we did. We got one part, we killed the Smoky Progg and made a little bit of progress. But in the next episode, I hope we're going to get a lot more done in just a lot of setup for the distant spring. So if you want to see more of that, then I just hope to see somebody in the next one. Bye-bye.